More news and drama in Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed Shadows. Let's take a look.
Yes, everyone, the likely thing happened. Ubisoft just delayed Assassin's Creed Shadows again. This
Oh yeah,
time,
that's
not
right.
by much, though. It's only till.
I think the original one was this year, and then last year, 2024. Now they've changed it to like February-ish, and now they're changing it again. So, I mean, who would have guessed? Honestly, they do need a lot of things done. But I personally don't think there's gonna be much that can improve it. But we'll see. Let's see.
March 20th, but of course they still do want some pre-orders, so while the whole season pass plan is dead, there is going to be the first expansion, obviously, and that is included.
Experience epic action changed the description. Pre-purchase now to get bonus mission. Yeah, it seems like all the gaming companies now do that. It's like you get a bonus mission right at the start or something like that. Upcoming Claws of Awaji expansion. Travel to a new region, get over 10 hours of additional content, and unlock a new weapon type, new skills, gears, and ability. And that's all you get. All this for pre-purchasing. Okay, I don't think they really have a they have a lot of hopes for the game. They really need those pre-orders.
With the pre-orders, it's called Claws of Awaji, and it is 10 hours long, in line with similar Assassin's Creed games. So in one way, that's the new news, but it's not really. It's not the complete story. Because, yeah, players are skeptical, but what's going to matter a hell of a lot more to Ubisoft is that their investors
Profits?
are not particularly happy. Not
Yeah.
at all. You see, Ubisoft stock is down from its highs of €99 to just €12 today.
Let me take a quick look actually. Ubisoft stock. Oh, not stuck. Stock. All right. Over one day they went from 2.31 to 2.37. That's great. But over the last year, 8% loss. Okay. Sorry, I had to sneeze. 40. Okay. Year to date, which is what, 18 days actually? 8% over the whole year, 45%. That's more like it. That's true. Do I need to? Yeah, I probably need to do this. And 5 years, yeah, went from 20 to 2. This is very similar to the 23andMe stocks that I've just seen. Yeah, kind of sucky, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, I've been like really looking forward to. Oh, my apologies, that's a different video. Oh, and then yet another. I'm so sorry. I was gonna say that I've been looking forward to like Assassin's Creed in Japan for such a long time, and unfortunately, Ubisoft had to mess it up. But it is what it is. At least I got to play Ghost of Tsushima already, and that is really good. So that was kind of my version of Assassin's Creed in Japan. So I guess I'm more or less happy. It's kind of crazy though. Yeah, they lost so much stock. Holy.
And it would be super easy to just say, oh, that was the COVID bubble. All the stock numbers were stupidly up for games. But then you take a look at some of the competition because that's actually false. Look at EA. They are right now near an all-time high. Similar story for
Bro, I do not know how EA is still somewhat like, you know, normal. It is crazy. EA's been like messing up Apex so hard. It seems like they've been making a lot of blunders. A lot of people are not happy with the game. Yet I assume maybe people are just still buying the heirlooms and stuff for $300. But yeah, kind of crazy. I haven't played Apex in like 2-3 years now. It's been a very, very long time.
Look at EA.
But
They are
anyways,
right now near an all-time high. Similar story for Take-Two. So if you're an investor in the game sector, you're looking at Ubisoft and thinking, my God, what are you people doing? But here's what's actually wild about this story, where it goes so much deeper. You see, right now, there is a shareholder revolt going on, but there's also a pact between the ruling Guillemot family, who started the company, and Tencent. Tencent are probably looking
Tencent.
at this and seeing a
Yeah,
tasty, tasty opportunity. So
yeah, they might just want
this
to
is one of those
buy
stories where
buy
no one's
Ubisoft
really
right away.
happy. Shareholders are not really a big fan of delays to their profits, and players don't like hearing about Ubisoft's plan for, and I quote, capitalistic options to extract the best
Today, no one is happy. Shareholders don't like delays to the profits, and players don't like hearing about Ubisoft plan. Okay, sorry.
value for stakeholders. The delay side of the story is actually quite simple. It's just another month to bug fix and polish the launch build of the game. And that's for fairly obvious reasons. Ubisoft does not want another repeat of Star Wars Outlaws.
I don't know.
It is sold shockingly bad. I mean, we knew it like sold pretty badly.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I personally, as soon as I saw the gameplay and stuff, I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm not like personally a huge fan of Star Wars, but I would play if it was a great game. I would still play it. I would give it a try for sure. But it just from what I've seen, all the bugs and all the things and all the forced stealth missions and whatever, it's just not that good. So I'm glad that the gamers are actually voicing their opinions by not buying the game and making companies hopefully think twice about making bad games. But it is what it is.
Ubisoft pretty much admitted as much, but a new stat really hammers it home. This is from Christopher Dring, who's reporting for VGC, and he reports that Outlaws only hit rank 47 in the EU sales charts. And then twisting the knife even more, he adds that it actually lost to last year's big Star Wars game, Jedi Survivor. And that's a game that, as a piece of software, well, had a completely disastrous launch, where like it was a total shit show on console.
I actually do have the game. I haven't played it yet. You guys let me know if it's actually any good. My Steam library is like over 1,000 games. There's so many games on a backlog of gaming, but I definitely need to come back to it and actually have a structure of going through all of them, or the ones that interest me. So this will be one of them. I believe it's a second one, right? There's the first one with this guy, and then this is a second version, sequel.
Clearly, now that game has been fixed up, the underlying fundamentals and appeal of that game do seem to be proving stronger than Outlaws, at least so far. So that's almost certainly why this big delay has happened. They're spooked. They don't want another bad launch. And since November, they've shown off some actually kind of neat things, like there's combat redesigns, there's parkour that actually looks a lot more involved than, you know,
Deflect.
just holding the forwards button, which is quite nice.
I mean, to be fair, like I was started playing Assassin's Creed, actually the first game, and I didn't mind, like, especially Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood Revelations. If you just hold W and, you know, or like I think was it W shift and then move with your mouse, it was fairly good. It really depends on like how good it looks though, like the animation and stuff. But we'll see.
And I mean, look, it is kind of fun to clown on Ubisoft, and they've done a hell of a lot to be clowned on, yes. But from a consumer point of view, this is actually good news. I mean, whenever a company is basically afraid that if its game
That's pretty cool
enough, people will reject it and not buy it.
Although,
that's
all right, my concern right now with this, just what I just seen this, to be fair, I've seen this just for the first time, this clip. It seems like it repeats the animation too much.
To clown an Ubisoft, and
like you see that she does this roll twice already within like 1 and 2. This is the exact same jump, and if it keeps repeating like that, I'll be tired in like a what, an hour, even less. It'll be the same exact motion, even though it looks cool. Like same thing as this.
I mean, whenever a company is basically
looks sick, right? 1,
if its game isn't,
and then you get exact same one 2.
That's a good thing for us. And if they then start to delay their games to polish them more, well, doubly so. That's good for us. I mean, look at the state of some modern games. And what really drives it home for me is looking at Outlaws, where Ubisoft Corporate clearly learned that it's so much harder to salvage a busted launch than it is to just delay a game and get it right. This is quite spooky if you're Ubisoft. So the game is a respectable 76% on Steam, but it only has 2,000 reviews.
How many people?
Not much whatsoever. Its player counts are real low. They are actually eclipsed, not just surpassed, complete.
Star Wars Outlaws all-time peak 2 months ago. Oh no, Outlaws. I did not use them so bad. So low. Okay, 2,500 total players on Steam. I mean, okay, I'll be fair. It comes out primarily on Uplay, right? Even if you buy it on Steam, I believe it still launches a Uplay account. So a lot of people don't go into Steam to actually play it. But at the same time, that is miserable. It is literally the same exact thing with the other games, Assassin's Creed games, but they're way more popular, right? Kind of crazy.
Eclipsed by any of the last 3 Assassin's Creed games. I mean, when I checked earlier, Assassin's Creed Odyssey was at 11,000 concurrence, and Outlaws was at like 750.
It's crazy.
That really does tell us something. And in fact, Assassin's Creed Unity.
But okay, to be honest, still better than Concord, which is sitting, I believe, at 0. So, you know, they're doing something. Don't remember, was Star Wars Outlaws like $200-ish million, or am I mistaken? Let me guys know.
And Black Flag are also,
let me know, guys. I can't speak. I'm sorry.
Which, you know, was pretty damn new in Steam. So it's a kind of wild situation, but it does show us something. Assassin's Creed is the backbone of Ubisoft's business. If Shadows misses, they
I guess so, since they release them every year or 2, right? They still get a lot of money out of it. Right now, off the top of my head, Ubisoft only has Assassin's Creed and Rainbow Six, right? Rainbow Six Siege. They still, I assume, are printing a lot of money out of that. I believe I've signed into it a couple years ago as well. And there's a bunch of like, it used to be like a tactical slash realistic ish, of course, shooter more or less. And now there's so many like weird, wacky skins, but they make money, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, that's
They
it.
are in absolute deep shit. And I think they know that. Insider gaming sources corroborate that polish is actually the reason it's being discussed internally. But I think there's quite clearly another factor, one that's going to impact you, but also impact shareholders. And that's the fact that February 2025 is absolutely
Oh
goddamn
yeah, that's right. That's right. There's so many games coming out in February as well, right? Let's take a look.
By now, it's a full-on tradition that February is basically just
Let me know the
Christmas Eve for
entire
gaming, and this
list.
time it is
I don't
actually
want to
quite
know.
big. So there's Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Yep.
That's had
This one's gonna be really exciting, I would say. A lot of people played first Kingdom Come. This one seems to be like a huge improvement. That will be good.
some pretty
I'll play it eventually. Yeah.
strong previews. There's a lot of hype coming off the first one. I think it could actually be an outsized hit, but there's also
Avowed. I heard the name, but I don't know what this is.
There's Like a Dragon.
Yeah, this one. I'm definitely excited for this one. I've actually reacted to the trailer for it, or like a whole gameplay slash what was it, like Sega Direct or something like that? It was very, very nice. Very good game.
Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, which is rather funny because, pirate gameplay.
Better than Assassin's Creed. Yeah. Better than Assassin's Creed or sorry, not Assassin's Creed. Better than Skull and Bones for sure, right?
Ubisoft, Black Flag,
It's kind of crazy.
Skull and Bones. Anyway, there's also Monster Hunter Wild.
Monster Hunter Wild will be crazy as well. A lot of people are looking forward to it. A lot of my friends that play Monster Hunter are really excited for it.
Civ 7. Now,
Civ 7, yeah. I don't think it's. I've not. Maybe I'm not. I'm wrong here. I've not seen too many people interested in like civilization games. Like, of course, it has its own place. Yeah, it has its own genre. But I've like, okay, I guess this is. I'm just basing it on my own friends and friend circles. But none of them really. None of my friends play Civilization 7. So I hope it's gonna be good. I hope it's gonna be a really good game and a lot of people enjoy it. But just personally, not a thing
March,
I've been looking for.
they're going to be launching in, has got Split Fiction and Football Manager.
Oh wait, Split Fiction already comes out in like 3 months? That's crazy. Okay. Or 2 months now. That is amazing. Maybe I'll play this with Azukia. That'll be nice. I believe this is from the same developer that created It Takes Two and the prison one. What was it called? Oh, try to remember. A Way Out? No, something like that. So this is gonna be a similar thing where you only need to get one copy of the game to play with co-op. It's really, really nice.
25. So it's a stack
Full manager, meh.
February, but Wilds really is going to be the big one here, and that's because Monster Hunter World was Capcom's highest selling game ever. Like, that game's performance is absolutely unhinged levels of big, and I think even more importantly for Ubisoft, it was massive on consoles. If you're Ubisoft, you absolutely do not want to be competing for the same dollars in the same month. So overall, it's pretty simple logic. What's going to cost Ubisoft more? On a first order basis, it's getting their $70 1 month later at the expense of like another month of a team's burn rate, I guess. But second order, it's more about sticking the landing. That's because earlier on, I didn't bring up those Assassin's Creed Steam chart numbers.
Yeah, these fights kind of give me vibes of Ghost of Tsushima, but I just wish that didn't have the main character. Like why would you have? Literally you guys already know this as well. Every single character that was in Assassin's Creed game was from a region or was related to the region, right? The Assassin's Creed 1 had Ezio. He was I'm so sorry. Had Altair. He was native in the area. Ezio was an Italian guy, of course. The Assassin's Creed 2/Revelations is in Italy, right? Black Flag was a guy that was also from that area, right? And like, excuse me, Assassin's Creed 3 as well, same thing, right? Connor was half Native American, half British. So literally all of the characters have to do something with this with the area. Where this one they just like decided to be I guess push the AI, and this is what they get.
A bit of a goof or a gaff.
Oh, yeah.
No, I brought that up to prove a point here. Assassin's Creed is a platform.
Sorry, I might be blabbering too much.
And I'm sure there is somebody out there who is mad enough to actually buy the premium currency inside their Assassin's Creed game. But the point is,
people do.
Has an absurdly long tail. It generates massive back catalog revenue for Ubisoft. And
crazy. Black Flag's still better. Which is it is a really good game. Assassin's Creed Unity I did play, I completed, but I believe when I played it, it was pretty rough shape. There was tons of bugs, tons of things, and it was not running good on my system. But that was a very long time ago too. Syndicate, I believe I finished as well. It was a bit better. I like the traversal with the zipline hook. But
If
yeah,
you've ever wondered,
anyways.
like, Ubisoft seems to have nothing but bad news. How on earth are they still alive? Well, it's basically because their back catalogue is insanely strong. But of course, they've had to lean in that strength. So any weakness to that is going to seem like a truly existential extinction event. And that is only giving ammunition to a group that I've got to imagine CEO Yves Guillemot basically considers to be the enemies within. Let me lay out the stakes for you. So on one side, we've got Yves
Eternal
Guillemot.
Rebellion.
Now, in the 2010s, he and the Guillemot brothers entered a pact with Tencent. And this was to fend off a hostile takeover attempt by Vivendi being a big French megacorp. And from then till now, that pact has kept the ruling family in control. Of course, not all has went well since then, and other investors are understandably quite angry. Per one activist investor, they're not exploiting their core IP properly. And that investor, AJ Investments, are going to come up later in this video. And that's because they basically want a big private equity deal to completely change how the company runs, gut everything, and hopefully turn a quick buck. And the thing that's interesting about them is they started off with a...
Okay, so Guillemot family owns 13%, okay. Tencent 9, capital investment, one investors 5.3, Ubisoft team, okay. Yves Guillemot, that's a personal one, maybe? 8 million. Interesting, okay.
The relatively small position only recently, which was obviously when the stock price was heavily depressed. So you know what sort of game those guys are coming in to play. But the thing is, this is not just business for the people involved. I mean, it is for AJ Investments, but it's not for Yves Guillemot and the Guillemot brothers, because for them, it is
this all the
family
brothers?
business. They founded it. That's why they're going to defend it as much as they can.
This guy looks like, I'm sorry, nothing personal, but his grimace looks like he's gonna kill someone. He's like, I'm here. Same with this guy.
Especially because they do have scars. As an example, you know, Gameloft, the people who just like clone mobile games, that was a Guillemot thing until a hostile takeover by Vivendi. So they want control. And all of this is why the other statement from Ubisoft matters. It's the one that was sent to investors, especially this snippet that people really loved. I'll read it out. Ubisoft has appointed leading advisors to review and pursue various transformational, strategic, and capitalistic options to extract the best value for stakeholders. God, I love some extracted value. And yeah, that does completely sound like corporate word salad, but, well, it, along with the rest of the statement, does have a pretty clear meaning. So here's a word salad-free version TLDR. Shareholders got mad at us for not being profitable enough, so we said we'd find cost-cutting opportunities and look into selling parts of the company. Now we've paid somebody to go and do that for us, and they'll probably find a few ways, and we've some sale options floating around us, but we can't talk until anything happens. That's basically what the statement meant. Simple enough.
Thank you, monsieur.
And they call out things like, say, closing 3 studios in, quote, high-cost geographies, which basically just means the whole fallout of XDefiance shutdown. And really now, we're just kind of left with a waiting game. You see, what's likely happening here is Tencent are, again, likely, waiting for the influence in return for funding a family takeover. Think about it from Tencent's perspective. It was Tencent's deal that allowed the Guillemots to like retain control of Ubisoft. Now Ubisoft is very much embattled. So if they want to buy up more of that stock and have more ownership, well, Tencent are going to be thinking, what do we get out of this deal? That'll be quite fun, and I'm sure they're licking their lips. Now, did this statement to investors actually work? I would say so far not really. You see, their CEO and CFO were pushed for details on the actual call. Things like actual sales being considered. Are there people wanting to buy the company? What other cost savings have happened? What can be sold off from Ubisoft? They were even asked if Tencent's military ties would be a problem for the United States. And basically answers to those questions in the Q&A.
I guess that would also make sense, yeah. Sorry, bad pause. Yeah, those are really good questions. Yeah, I'm not sure about the laws in the US in terms of like, can Tencent, which is Chinese company, can they own majority of a company? Would that company become a Chinese company, or how that like basically? I have no idea how that works. That's pretty interesting. A lot of like weird questions to ask.
Really present. Basically, Ubisoft couldn't
Very
really
niche
say
question.
anything, not while a deal is in progress, and when anything that they say will rock investors, which is why we got insane corporate word salad that frustrated everybody, both players and investors, by basically saying nothing. And that means that for Ubisoft, there is only one way out. And that is shadows. Place yourself in Yves Guillemot's shoes and basically imagine this. Your single most important product underperforming right as you are negotiating some form of buyout deal. That's what's on the line here. That is not good. And that is why, for the company, Shadows has got to land. Not just for the company, for its owners, for its leadership. March the 20th is the latest that they can launch.
Yeah, it looks like the fighting is a bit better now, so that's good.
Of the financial year. And insider gaming sources, who, by the way, have continually been spilling bad news about Ubisoft as well, they did report that pre-orders were high, actually, before the game's delay, and that they still look strong. Now, the thing is, that may seem completely mad, right, if you live on Twitter and YouTube, but it's actually not. Assassin's Creed has an absolutely, genuinely huge audience. I mean, take a game like Valhalla. To so many people, that ended up being the peak slop game. But actually,
wait, it means $1 billion? Oh wow,
utterly gargantuan. So that likely means that Ubisoft leadership are.
I mean, I was okay with the game.
Here, right?
It seems fine,
especially with such a fluffy statement like that. And I think what they want is even more polish, so that they can then, of course, have some maybe short-term positive work.
Sorry, I don't think I finished Valhalla. I believe I played it for like 20 or 30 hours, but there was still so many things to be done, so I just kind of stopped. I need to get back to it too.
Word of mouth, maybe some like good reviews because of the combat and movement improvements to the game, the launch build, polishing, which they very much will want to avoid a sort of Outlaws-like situation. I mean, and when I say all their eggs are in the Assassin's Creed basket, I really do mean it, because, well, all else that they've got officially scheduled is a season of Mythic Quest, because they do that on Apple TV, and some live service updates. Like, that is straight up it for the first half of 2025. Now, there are plenty of games in development. So they've got a new Far Cry game, they've got a new Ghost Recon game, there's the Sands of Time remake.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Happen someday.
That's right. There's the Far Cry as well. I don't know how Far Cry 6 did. Was it good? I don't think a lot of people played it from what I heard. And then Ghost Recon, I think I only played Wildlands. Okay. Huh.
There's a Black Flag remake and a bunch of other Assassin's Creed projects like Hex. But if you ask me, the real question is what Ubisoft will even look like by the time those games come out. The thing that shone through clearly in researching this story is that analysts expect that Ubisoft will not make it through 2025 unchanged. Internal health at the studio is bad. Again, insider gaming sources suggest that employee trust is as low as 15 to 20% in some studios. So as a business, it's rough. At the bottom, it's rough. And at the top, it's real bad. The Guillemets are absolutely
it's bad everywhere.
Your life right now.
Shut it down.
Kind of
Shut it down.
Because in a way, the personal incentives of the Guillemot brothers are shockingly aligned with some audience members, with customers. And that's basically because the only way the Guillemets are going to get out of this is if they somehow land on a really big hit. So they have all of these incentives to have the best launch of this game that is humanly
all the eggs in the basket,
like a reasonable time frame. Because if this doesn't end up being good, they lose so much clout, so much control, and they're probably going to be outmaneuvered. And so in a rather counterintuitive way, that's kind of good news, but not really for the best of reasons.
Okay, so red is unstoppable, and then blue seems like it's the variable one.
Empire that is aligning his short-term incentives with ours. And that means that straight up there is no good option here, because if Ubisoft plods on, it still is the Ubisoft that we know. And if they manage to get through this, they're going to be back to their old tricks and their old ways of doing things. So that's not exactly great.
Same slop, so it doesn't matter.
Get their way. Well, that's going to be even more consolidation in the games industry, and again, smaller projects are probably going to die. But then, obviously, if AJ and their fellow activist investors do get some sort of private equity-funded ownership thing going on, well, you can bet that whatever new leadership in that scenario, well, that they do not care about games, that they only care about profit, and that is
now gaming's just all about money. It doesn't fucking matter. Get slop, get multi-transaction games, etc. It works. It sucks, but it works.
To be honest, what that means for me is I'm actually looking forward to the future, both out of genuine and morbid curiosity. And speaking of that, speaking of things that are a bit morbid, Kerbal Space Program 2. There's interesting, maybe good news, and to learn about it...
Is it going to be resumed? Is the company going to be rebought? I did see this video privately. Basically, I believe they haven't finish the first one. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. But yeah, if you guys don't know, this was by Bellular News. Great guy. Make sure to check out the video or whatever other videos he has going on as well. I'll be watching an EA is murdering Apex Legends next as well. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. So let me know what you think about this. Do you like Ubisoft? Do you like the new games? Are you a fan of the old Ubisoft games like Assassin's Creed 2, 3, 4, etc.? Let me guys know. All right. See you.